Good morning, all of you. Today, we are going to discuss about the types of elasticity of demand. In the last class, we studied about the definition and why it has been introduced and the price elasticity we have completed. The rest of the three type of elasticity that we have to study today. As far as the types of elasticity of demand is concerned, our syllabus covers four types of elasticity of demand. One is the price elasticity of demand that we discussed in the last class. Then the second type is income elasticity of demand, and third is cross, and fourth one is advertisement. What is the definition for elasticity of demand? The degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in factor. Here, price means price elasticity. Income means income elasticity. So, which factor that we are considering? Because the change in that particular factor, what is the change happened in the demand is elasticity of demand. Today, we are going to discuss about the rest of the three. What is income elasticity? What is cross elasticity? What is advertisement elasticity? Let us start with the income elasticity. Under demand analysis, uh, price and demand as a predominant factor, the relation is expressed in law of demand. Next to that, the most important factor is the consumer income. This particular consumer income decides your level of demand. That is why calculating the income elasticity is predominant for the demand forecasting. The income elasticity of the product is an economic tool to measure the impact of the income, the demand for the product. So how you define this particular thing, I already told you the wordings is very similar to price elasticity, except price you have to write instead of price, you put the income. How we have to define? The degree of responsiveness of demand due to change in income is known as income elasticity of demand. From this definition, we can extract the formula. Formula means here percentage only I am giving. Where in the numerator, the percentage change in demand of product is for the period T. And second one, the percentage change in income by the consumer for the period T. We may say change in demand divided by change in income. EY equal to delta X by delta Y. This is the formula. So using this formula only, we have to explain all five types of income elasticity. In case of price elasticity, it is unitary, perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively elastic, relatively inelastic. This is a five type. Here also there is a five types, but it starts with the zero income elasticity. The first type is zero income. When there is no change in demand, suppose income is changing but you are demanding the same, then it is called zero income elasticity. Why? The delta y equal to delta x by delta y, there is zero divided by anything is equal to zero. So the diagram can be represented by using quantity demand in the x-axis and the income in the y-axis. There will be a parallel line with the income. So there is no change in demand irrespective of there is an increase in income. This type is called zero income elasticity. Suppose because of increase in income, we are demanding less. How it has happened? Suppose you are having a bicycle with your salary is 10,000 rupees. Suddenly your income increases to 20,000 rupees. You will demand cycle or something else. Definitely we go for the moped. So the demand for the moped will increase. The national income of an individual, that is per capita income of an individual is increases. The demand per cycle will be negative. So in this case, there will be a change 10% in demand. It is a negative one. There is a change in the income. Increase in income, there is a less demand for a particular thing. So this particular type we used to call it as negative income elasticity. Here also the same. The demand curve should be a 45-degree line. Then only that box 10% of change in income and 10% of change in demand can be easily displayed. Now we are going to the third type, unitary income elasticity. Because of your increase in income, a same level of demand is increasing for a particular product, then it is called unitary elasticity. Why? 10% increase in income. Similarly, your consumption pattern also increases by 10%. Then the value of income elasticity will be equal to 1. So it is called unitary elasticity. It may be negative or it may be positive, but it is unitary. Only we have to take the modulus of it. Then there are two other possibilities. In price, we used to call it as relatively elastic and relatively inelastic. Here, we used to say greater than 1 and lesser than 1. Suppose it is greater than 1, the value is be greater than 1. When the demand changes more than the changes in the income, then it is called greater than unity income elasticity. 10% increase in income, 15% increase in consumption, then definitely it is called greater than unity elasticity. On reverse, when 10% increase in income, only 5% increase in consumption, then it is called negative. Negative, we would not say, it is called less than unity. In that example, there is a 15% increase in income. Our consumption increased by only 10%. Then the value ranges from 0 to 1. So in this case, we used to call the income elasticity as less than unity elasticity. I just displayed this particular 5 types of income elasticity in this table. The first column is serial number. Second one is what is a proportional change in demand. The third column is proportional change in income. Suppose 10% income increase, no change in demand. So we have to call it as zero income elasticity. Same 10% increase, but minus 10% will be the consumption. We are losing some demand. Then it is called negative income elasticity. The same 10% income change, there is a change in 10% in demand. Then it is called unitary income elasticity. On the other case, 10% increase in income, more than 10%, that is 15%, then it is greater than unity. Here, I'm changing out of 15% increase, there is a less than 15%, then it is less than unity. So when they ask a section C question, first you have to define what is income elasticity, and then you have to write a formula. After that, the types you can give. Now let us move to the next type. It is called cross elasticity. Like other elasticity, the definition is slightly changing. Why? Because here there are two products are involved. Because this elasticity is related goods. Either it may be substitutes or complementary goods. So the definition is, according to Alfred Marshall, the degree of responsiveness of demand of product X due to change in price of the product Y, which may be either substitute or complementary good. So accordingly, the formula gets changed. How? In both way, we have to give the changes in the proportionate, but the change in the price of the substitute decides the change in the demand. The formula is proportionate change in demand for product X divided by proportionate change in price of a product Y. Symbolically, EC equal to delta X by delta Y. The same way, we can give some numerical example. In that way, here the type will be only two. Either the cross elasticity by substitutes, either cross elasticity by complementary goods. Substitute means the tea and coffee are substitute. When the price of the tea increases, the demand for the coffee increases. But in case of complementary, pen and refill, the price of the refill increases, the price of the pen also increases because it's an integral part of the pen. So because of these two, there are certain elasticity related with the related goods. Those are categorized as unrelated goods. Why? Because there is a election in the US. Our Indian stock market is affected. But there are two problems. How it's not possible to connect, but it is in the mind of the investor. So unrelated products also sometimes affect. Suppose chapel is torn, what people will do? They will go nearby. Some people will left that chapel. Some people will not. They will take in a bag and they will bring. So it differs from person to person. Like that, when there is no relationship between products, but also the cross elasticity is there, it is zero cross elasticity, we have to say. This is the last type that we are going to discuss, is advertisement elasticity. Once you complete MBA, when you are going in any particular corporation, definitely when you are in a marketing division, this particular formula will be very useful. When you introduce a product, definitely you want to measure the change in demand. After measuring the change in demand, whether your advertisement is effective or not, Only this formula will give. So the definition is according to Alfred Marshall. Don't forget to mention the author name. The degree of responsiveness of demand. Here the demand is called sales. Is a proportionate or a percentage change in the advertisement expenditure. Because of investment in the advertisement, how much demand is increased. It is called advertisement elasticity. Formula is proportionate change in sales divided by proportionate change in advertisement expenditure. EA equal to delta S by delta A. Here delta A is nothing but change in sales. Delta A is called advertisement expenditure. So here also there are four types. We used to call that zero advertisement elasticity. Because of advertising, there is no change in demand. It is called zero. Suppose based on the when it is proportionate, then it is called unity. 10% increase in advertisement, 10% increase in demand means it is unity. Suppose 10% increase in investment of advertisement, only 5% is increased by demand, then it is less than unity. On the other hand, when 10% advertisement expenditure is increasing, more than 10% is change in demand, then it is greater than unity. It is really elastic. So these are the types. With this, I'm completing the class. In the next class, we will study about the demand forecasting. Until then, please complete your class work because you people never submitted. That too, by this weekend, I will create that Google Classroom. I'm a little bit busy with my online classes. May God bless you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. All of you, please type your name. Any doubt?